Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
It is Thursday. The Thursday before the All-Star game. And you know what Thursday means? That means it's Family Feud Day. It's the day after Wednesday, correct? Yes, but it is also Family Feud Day. It is also a day that there are the final two Home Run Derby participants that we can discuss today. It is also the day where there are no podcasts remaining in the week, and we haven't done Guess That Player yet. So that means Justin Havens at some point, my friend. You better be fucking primed and ready. Because we've
on
got
your
one
toes,
in the holster. Yeah, on your toes, buddy. On your toes.
Oh, I've never been more nervous.
I've never had more toes than I'm on.
I feel like I have confidence in you being able to get this one.
That's good. I was just kidding. I've been more nervous.
Yeah,
I got the last one.
Yeah. You've only not gotten one, right?
Yeah. I flailed around on that one pretty bad, but yeah, I didn't get one.
Did Dallas get the last one?
Hold on. Wasn't that an oversight? Wasn't
no,
Jared's fuckery?
No, there was one that came after that I did not get. Just outright.
I mean, folks aren't talking about it. I mean, in some corners they are, but the fact that
it was like 1940 something.
Yeah, the early one.
Yeah, well, it's a new game now.
Yeah. Still the only guy to get it in one guess.
Yeah, that is true.
Yep, fact.
That is true.
Maybe I'll do it again today.
Did you get your last one, Dallas?
I did. I've also only fucked up once.
I think you've only done Guess That Player once.
Yeah, I've done multiple Guess the Years. I've got those right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I've only got one Guess the Player. So I've only missed one question, whatever the fuck it's been.
Yeah. So I got to see Mason Miller last night. Not in person, but on my television. And I mean, you would have thought that people saw fire for the first time.
Yeah,
the way that like Red Sox fans were reacting to this. 103 to close it out. You know what, Dallas? You may think that I'm blowing smoke up my own ass here, but you know that 103 was because he was like, this guy Jared's a Red Sox fan. He talks about me all the time. Like he was on the mound. He was thinking about me. He was.
No.
He was on the mound being like, I'm going to put on a show for that guy, Jared, because he's a huge fan. I know he's watching. I got 103 right for you. And he did. He shoved it up Jake's ass. Jake was there.
Yeah, Jake was there. Some other fans were noting the lack of presence, the absence of one Jared Carabas. They said, this guy, is this the guy that's telling us he's the tribal chief? He's the Red Sox. He's our fucking. Where is this guy?
I don't go during the week.
He doesn't show face. And then they started to go on a tirade about how you sing a song but you don't dance a dance. I defended
I never
you.
go during the week.
I defended you admirably. I told him I'm not going to have this slander here. I know he cares. I understand that he doesn't show up and prove that he cares, and he might just talk a good talk. I said, but I think he cares.
I never go during the week. I never have. Tuesday, I don't know if you know this, Dallas, broadcasting big league ball game. You know, I get to use Dallas's line. Actually, I'm broadcasting a big league ball game, so I can't do that right now. You guys got to hurry up because I got to broadcast a big league ball game today. So yeah, I couldn't go on Tuesday because I was broadcasting a big league ball game. And then Wednesday, I do 98.5 The Sports Hub with Tony Maz. So yeah, I have a job to do. So unfortunately, I couldn't be there during the week, but I would have loved to have been there. Even if it was a loss for the Red Sox, I would have loved to have seen Mason Miller pitch in person.
Again, it was you not showing up. It was me. I was able to spot Jake in the crowd. Try to yell, "Hey, Jake! Jake!" Wouldn't even fucking turn and look at me.
He
just a complete big league job. And total big league.
He didn't even not respond to you. He completely dismissed you via text. He said, "Mind your own." He basically said, "Mind your own fucking business."
Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%.
You didn't even respond.
No,
I think you were.
What am I going to do? What am I? Well,
you minded your own business.
I'm fucking broadcasting a big league ball game, right? I got shit to do. So I sent out the text. I sent out the text like, hey, Jake, how's it going, man? Just what? Hey, hello? Not crickets. And then Jake, just the fucking stiff arm back. Bro, I'm trying to watch a game. Kind of busy here. Oh, okay. That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. Guess who Dal brought, though? Dal brought Mason Miller. You have yourself a cold fucking Miller. Have yourself I'm going to cut that 6-pack in half and just make it a 3-pack and shove it directly down your throat. Jake, you had great seats. Great seats. I want to hear from Jake what the 103 felt like, smelled like, tasted like.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to lose to the A's, I'm glad we went down by the way of Mason Miller. It was cool to watch in person. Like I was saying before we got on the pod that the people around me were like, oh, we got the top of the order coming up, bottom 9. We might have a chance. And then Miller gets out there and just shoves it up my ass. Great seats for it. Thanks for coming, Mason.
I was telling these guys while you're getting your headphones on, like the same stuff. It's great that you see the same stuff happening everywhere, and even teams that have rosters that look like the Yankees and rosters that look like the Red Sox with stars, young stars, iconic type talent, and they're like, so you're going to show us the Mason Miller? Like they come up to me like I'm a fucking drug dealer. Like, hey, so you got that?
You got that thing?
Mason? You got that Mason? What's up? You got that? Did you bring that Mason? Like, don't bring it out here. Don't show me in front of other people because I don't want them to know that I'm into the Mason.
Right.
Like, I've dabbled in the Mason and I would like a taste. And, and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know if you're ready for this. This shit is highly addictive. Highly addictive.
All right. So here's my question for you, Dallas. Truth time now.
All right.
Okay. Are you content / happy if you lose the series, you being the A's lose the series, but that series loss includes the full Mason Miller on display at Fenway experience for at least one game? Do you take that?
I think I have to.
Yeah, I think you do too.
I think I have to.
I think that's a win for both sides.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. It is a win for both sides because Mason wants to pitch there. The A's would like to win baseball games. If he's pitching there, there's a good chance that's going to happen. And baseball fans want to see that talent on display. The players he's punching out want to see his talent on display. So yes, it would be everybody wins here. And damn, it's okay that we lost 2 out of 3. The Red Sox are playing well, but everybody got to see what Mason Miller is all about. Everybody got to see firsthand that this ain't no fallacy. This is not a joke. This shit is very, very real.
That's good you feel that way, because if you didn't know, today is Houck Medina. So, yeah.
What are you talking? Do you understand what's been happening in the A's rotation, bud? It's just bounce back outing after bounce back outing.
He just hit you with a bud.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Like I'm not tuning in for every single second of Oakland A's baseball during the 2024 season. Give me a break, dude. I'm there. I'm riding. I'm dying.
I know. That's why I appreciate each and every one of you. I mean, Jake comes to the
by
games.
Rook or by Crook.
Yeah.
That's Brent Rooker's nickname, as a lot of people know. Yeah,
you know it.
I know that Dallas, you can be a storyteller at times, but I am actually curious. Was anyone on the Red Sox side really coming up and asking you about Mason Miller?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure they were.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I want you. Can you say names? Like I'm curious. Like who is curious?
I know, but I don't like to do that just because.
But you can tell me off the air.
Yeah. I'll share that off the air. But yeah, there's just. Yeah. It's and because and I understand because they'll respond. They'll be like, well, bro, it's just like I want to see it. Like yeah, I'm curious. Like
is it for real?
Yeah.
What's it look like? What's it smell like?
And that
sound like
that's really it.
Yeah, that's that angry fuzz.
Well, you hear about it, you see the numbers, and then you see, and I'm sure a lot of it comes from guys talking, just like hitters talk in a lineup, hitters talk around the league. So I can promise you, there's probably a guy or two last night who fell on the fucking sword, and we're like, they fired off a text like, yeah. No, it's real. Like old fucking Willer Abreu is letting next to kin know if that happens again, I'm not going to make it out of the box. So, you get my Hot Wheels and you get the Pogs, and it's been fun.
Duran got a little knock though.
Bro, Duran, yeah, like I've liked watching him play. I like watching him in the box right before the pitch, and oddly enough, like right before he catches a fly ball, because there's nobody concentrating more on what they're doing in that moment than it feels like Jarren Duran. Like the moment bat is getting ready to meet the ball, like you can fucking feel his eyes just and like tracking a baseball. Like I you know, he'll take off, and obviously things were a little rocky early and things have gotten better defensively for him. And so watching him take an angle, and sometimes he'll have to reroute, but you see the athleticism, and you can just feel the dude trying his ass off.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I like the most about him is there's not it doesn't feel like there's a single wasted step on the baseball field. You know,
Guy
like
works
I said,
hard.
he might take a circuitous route here and there, but the effort to get back on track is really strong. Like he just, everything about him is like, I want to, how can I beat you? If it's tying my laces a little tighter than yours, I'm gonna fucking do it.
Yeah. Alex Cora basically called Mookie Betts a pussy the other day because I think they were talking about like the built-in off days, as you like to refer to, Dallas. He's like, yeah, you know, I would make sure that, you know, guys like Mookie get these off days, but Jarren Duran doesn't want them. And they were like, well, what's the difference? And he's like, well, he's way tougher than Mookie. he basically said that. Like that was the quote.
Duran is one of those dudes where if you see him if you see him in street clothes, you probably, oh, you know, athletic or whatever. And then you see him without a shirt on, and you're like, hold on, that's
you see him in baseball pants,
right? Like that's what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he is. He's a fucking thick dude.
He looks the part.
Yeah, for sure. You can see why Alex Cora is not terribly worried about, you know, big time wear and tear. Like he obviously is an individual who understands taking care of his body is important. And I know sometimes guys like that can fall victim to injury.
Sure.
You know, a la Giancarlo Stanton. But
yeah,
I think Duran's going to be a special player for a while.
Yeah. I agree with you. That's a great
I
take,
do
buddy.
too.
Yeah. Jayhay was right out in front of that one. The MLB season is in full swing, and Underdog Fantasy wants to make it a lot more interesting. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats, strikeouts, total bases, home runs, and so much more. Make entries of all baseball or mix and match across your other favorite sports. You can win up to 100 times your money, and it's a ton of fun. Do we officially have what are the lines going to be? We're going to have lines, right, for the Dinger Derby?
We're going to have totals. I think we got to get out there and take a few swings first to sort of gauge what people's totals might be, but you'll see those popping up over the next few days.
Okay. So like my higher or lower for the first round has to be like 28.5, something like that.
I wonder if you could hit 28 homers without tiring out.
Yes. In the first round, yes. In the final round, no. But I don't know. Maybe I actually saw a mock-up of the title belt, like the wrestling title belt that's being awarded to the champion. That's what's going to push me to the finish line. I don't care about what other, if there's like a cash prize, if there's, I want the fucking
That's
belt,
what's going to push me to finish line. I tell you right now, I've been battling a little low back issue. No problem. I'm still taking swings, still getting in the whirlpool. I got one thing on my mind, and that's the fucking belt, baby.
That's the belt. I want the belt.
If you win the Dinger Derby belt, where is that going in your home?
In my office. When I graduated college, I asked my parents for my graduation gift was the big gold belt, and then like the nameplate on it. I just had like my college on it. And so, yeah, for every accomplishment, like when I have my first child, like I want a belt with like the kid's name on it, like any major accomplishment in my life, belt.
Okay.
And I'll just
that
keep
makes
them all in
sense.
my office. Yeah.
You think, we'll see if you add this one, I guess.
Yeah.
I ran into a guy who was your teacher at Endicott.
Oh yeah, what was his name?
Shorter guy, little
So you
stubbier.
don't know his name.
Oh, the Bruce Chen of Endicott teachers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Was it? Fuck, it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't Mike. He was a nice guy. He was an A's fan. He was a nice guy.
Oh,
He was a great guy.
Jesus Christ.
So I was just telling this
diehard
story.
Ace fan. Can't remember his name.
I was just telling this story yesterday to Kevin Majori at the Sports Hub because he also is from Saugus and also went to Endicott. And I took any math class. All I had to do to graduate was take one math class and pass it. I took like 6 or 7, dropped them all because I couldn't pass them. And then finally at Endicott, I took a statistics course and my professor was an umpire. So I was like, fucking bingo. And
Done
every
deal.
paper I wrote was on baseball statistics and I got an A. I went from like, couldn't even get above a 45 in math to fucking, 100. This dude's a math genius.
They're like, Jared, define WAR and come up with the algorithm for WOBA.
Yeah.
Can we
Done.
do batting average?
Yeah.
Can we do batting average? I'm into batting average.
Yeah. I mean, I thank God for that guy. Wherever he is, God bless him. Because without him, I don't have a college degree. If I don't have a math teacher that's a baseball umpire, I am not a college graduate. I can definitively say that right now. Not a big math guy. More of an English guy. Make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared, Jared, to get up to $250 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared. Yeah, 28.5 seems fair. What do you think yours is, Dallas? Like 11.5?
No, probably just significantly more than yours.
9.5?
whatever that would be. Yeah.
You're not hitting more. That should be like a side prop. Like who will hit more first round home runs, Jared or Dallas? It definitely would be me.
You feel that way because you had one good round of wiffle ball home run derby once in your life. And I love that has motivated you.
No, I'm literally the best wiffle ball player I've ever seen. So, yeah, I would take me. I hope I'm the underdog. So, I mean, are we allowed to bet on ourselves? I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
That's stupid.
May have to ask Joe West.
Yeah, I'll ask Joe West if that's legal or not.
Who do you think
But-
Floyd Mayweather's got his money on? That's the smart play.
Probably me.
I think Money Mayweather's probably got it on Hollywood Havens.
Hollywood Havens.
He's a big value pick
I-
guy, so we'll see.
I polled the women closest to me in my life whether I should come in full Hollywood Havens gear, and there was like looks of disgust and saying, "Don't get on camera looking that way." So we'll see. We'll see what the first half of tomorrow brings in my shopping trip for clothes. But yeah,
I want Jayhay wearing a fucking cape, assless chaps, and tube socks, and a Evo Shield elbow guard.
I don't like my butt's chances of doing assless chaps. It's not. I haven't been prepping my butt cheeks for this trip, if I'm being honest.
You ain't caked up? It's July.
No,
Come on,
that's-
baby.
that-
Them summer
I-
cakes.
I might have been doing some conditioning work for this derb, but that hasn't had anything to do with my cheeks.
Cheeks a
It's
little
kinda
saggy.
Well, I didn't say saggy, dude. I just said not ready for assless chaps.
We'll get there.
Well, speaking of home run derbies, the field is full. I think it was 2 guys that we said no chance these guys are going to be in it, and it ended up being Adolis Garcia and Teoscar Hernandez. But I think we only said that because it was the conversation surrounding, well, I'm not going to go unless I'm an all-star.
I'm an all-star.
But my case for Adolis Garcia was that he's just got to roll out of bed. He's already there.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
I think.
Unless he's
we
going to
may-
go home.
Listen, we may not have specifically said that these guys were going to participate in the Derby, but I think we nailed the sentiment and the the issue that was facing Major League Baseball in terms of participants and people who wanted to go. Like, no matter what you think about Adolis Garcia, his 2024 season belongs nowhere near the home run derby. And Teoscar Hernandez is just, I think he's a relatively uninspiring choice overall. And I would love to hear somebody kind of disagree with that. But, I think you've got like 3 really good participants. And then I think you have, 4 or 5 kind of guys who will be there.
Yeah, that's my counter to that, Jayhay, is every home run derby has that one guy where it's like, well, I'm not necessarily tuning in for you, but you could probably win.
Yeah.
Like a Justin Morneau. It's like, am I tuning in to watch Justin Morneau in the home run derby? No. But could he win it? Yeah.
In fairness, though, like I'm not a Morneau guy. Justin Morneau at the peak of his powers and place in the game was on a completely different level than Teoscar Hernandez.
From a home run standpoint?
No, not from a pure home run hitting standpoint. Oh, hello.
It's not the wins above replacement derby, it's the home run derby.
No, I'm just saying, like you're saying, like it's a guy that you didn't show up to play. What's that, buddy?
No, what you have to this is what I think. When I look at the field, when I look at who the home run derby participants are, I ask myself, all right, if one of these dudes was going to hit a home run and I wanted to show a home run to somebody who had never seen a home run before, and I wanted to use this to get them excited about it, who are the top 3 players out of the derby that you would be choosing the home run from? Jay, I don't know if you heard me, but I said we're going to pick. Yeah. So that's kind of how I look at this, because I think what you guys said is interesting about you look at the field and how many of these players are like real participants here. There's going to be 3, I think was the number thrown out, and the rest are just guys.
I didn't mean so much 3 that could win it. I meant 3 like guys, like the two young superstars and Joe Ram, and then arguably Pete Alonso as like, a guy who's never doing 5 derbies in a row for the first time ever. Yeah.
And that's even better that you explained that. I mean, I had an idea of what you were talking about, but so that's my point, I guess, is do we want to watch would you be selling a low line drive off the bat of Bobby Witt Jr.? Because he's hit some towering shots as well, but it feels like he's more of a fucking like a missile type homer hitter, or a Adolis Garcia blast, right? Like, which one are you using to show this alien, hey, this is baseball, this is a homer? I like it.
I totally get it. Like, I think this group is very capable of putting on a good show, but it's also a marketing event for Major League Baseball. And like, you just have to go back to last season. Like, I was trying to think, what am I being unfair to this derby field? I don't think that I am, mostly because last season's field was Luis Robert Jr., Adley Rutschman, Pete Alonso, who I think had more glow on him last season than he does right now, Julio Rodriguez, Mookie Betts, Vlad Jr., Adolis Garcia, and Randy Arozarena. That's at least 6 people, including like 5 of like your core up and coming young players in baseball that you want to market that are participating in that derby. And that's just not what we're seeing this season, no matter what you think of these guys.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
I'm like not underwhelmed, but not excited either. Is that fair?
I think that's where I'm at. Yeah. Maybe I'm coming off as too negative. Because I am really excited about the top 2 or 3 guys, but yeah, I think the field as a whole kind of petered out as we got there.
Yeah.
I'm excited. This is what I would suggest too for fans. If you are going to be going to the ball game here in the next week or so, and you can get to BP, because you very well may see, and if you're a fan of one of these teams who has a player participating, you very well may see one of these players work a practice round or 2 of batting practice en route to going to the derby. And that's so they can get a feel for timing and shit like that. Like,
sure.
So that's always fun to watch too.
I say I'm not underwhelmed, but I'm not excited either. I think it's because there's a lot of like tier 2 home run guys in the derby. Like there's not one oh, fuck, he's doing it. Oh, man, that's like, there's no main eventer in the home run derby, which is fine. There's a lot of mid-carders, and you need mid-carders in a home run derby. You're not going to get a home run derby of all main event guys, but this one doesn't have any main event guys. Like when Alec Boehm, no disrespect, but when Alec Boehm is the second name announced, you're like, fuck, this is not going to be great. But I'm excited to see what Bobby Witt Jr. can do. I mean, Adolis Garcia is probably going to hit some tanks. He's going to be playing the Sammy Sosa role where you break out the tape measure and you're talking, oh shit, that one went 478. Like that's his role in this. And the crowd is going to get into it because he's the hometown guy. Ozuna is probably going to hit some big ones. And even though, everyone here has their opinions about his character.
I got Gunnar Henderson hitting the farthest ball.
That could play too. He's probably out of every participant in the Derby, he probably has the highest average exit velocity. Yeah.
Let's see. I do think that's best case scenario for the league, though, that Gunnar either puts on a tremendous show en route to the finals and loses or whatever, or is just actually the winner of the whole thing. Because I think
he would join Ohtani as a guy who wins the Derby and the MVP potentially.
Well, and also like as much as I love Bobby Witt in the Derby, like I'm also concerned / aware of the possibility that Bobby Witt bounces in the first round because he's not a pure home run hitter. You know what I mean? Like Bobby Witt's a multi-dimensional talent that I'm excited to see participate in the Derby. But like if he ran the show and won the home run Derby, I think that would be extremely surprising. I don't know. Like I went back to the 22 Derby just to see if I was being unfair with sample size. And it's like, it was Schwarber, an end of career Pujols for a send off, which I think is kind of cool. Juan Soto, Joe Ram, Corey Seager, Julio Rodriguez, Pete Alonso, and Ronald Acuna Jr.
Jared, to answer your question, Gunnar does have the highest average exit velocity out of participants in the home run derby.
Yeah, he does.
Second would be Marcell Ozuna. Third would be Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah. Are you done? That's very cute. Yeah. I'm not excited. I know that's like not the most ringing endorsement, but that's honestly how I feel. I can get up for any home run derby. You can throw whoever in there and it's like someone's going to surprise you. There's always the sleeper, the Cinderella story, and then the person that you tune in for. Everyone has their role. Jay?
I think this derby has a chance to surprise some folks, to surprise some fans, because it might not necessarily be the raw power on display that gets you, but because there's a lot of really, really athletic dudes in this, the ability to recover and the ability to repeat a swing that could generate power consistently, and albeit not light tower power every swing, but it could come down to a race where we're talking about a high number of home runs and a guy's chasing that high total. And because he's a good athlete and because they have gas tanks, we do start to see like just some crazy consistent production. Like I would love to see a 8-10 homer run, right? And a guy have to match that to get to the next round or to compete. Like I think there's some action here waiting for us that we're not really looking for.
Well, and just not to be reductive, but it's ultimately going to come down to whether somebody puts on a show or not, because when that's happening, the name doesn't really matter. Like nobody went into the Bobby Abreu home run derby being like, well, shit, Bobby Abreu's in the derby. Like, let's fucking buckle up and go. Right. Like it was he forced you to pay attention. And that's, I mean, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn when I say that's one of the 4 or 5 most memorable home run derby, like singular performances of the last 20 years or whatever it is. So, if Teoscar Hernandez or whoever steps up and puts on an epic home run binge, then the crowd's going to get into it. The viewers on TV are going to get into it, and people are going to remember the derby, even if the on paper stardom was less than you would want.
Do we have picks? Do we want to do, well, no. Yes. I know we'll have a podcast Monday morning. We'll be together.
Oh, that's right.
We'll
Yeah.
be together. Yes, we'll be together Monday.
That's a good point. I want to get a sense of what the vibe is on the ground before I make my picks.
Right? Yeah, I got to smell it.
Mm-hmm.
I got to smell that Dallas air.
Not Dallas, though.
Yeah.
I don't want to smell
No,
Dallas.
no. I've already
stay
smelled
far
that
away from
Dallas
that stench.
air in Stockton. It smells like marble reds and gunpowder.
And deja vu.
Yeah. So, anyways, here's a question for you guys. Paul Skenes goes today against the Milwaukee Brewers. It's his final start before the All-Star game. Does what he does in this start have any impact on a potential decision to make him the starting pitcher for the All-Star game? Because the All-Star game, we all know at one point it meant something. It determined home field advantage in the World Series. It no longer does. Now it's just an exhibition game where we are showcasing the stars in our game. So logically, Paul Skenes should be, I mean, statistically, he has the case for it. And also from a marketing standpoint, which this is, let's face it, the All-Star game is a marketing tool, and I have no problem with that. I love that because there are no other sports going on. So we have center stage right now. Baseball has center stage in the sports world. Do you think that today's start has any bearing on the decision to make Paul Skenes the All-Star game starter for the National League?
I think it could. If he goes out and it is an extremely dominant performance, yes. Like he goes out and punches out 12, yes. 6, 7 shut, 12 punchies, 2, 3 hits. Yeah. Yeah, because that's a what more do you want from the kid? What do you want to see that against the game's best, right?
Could he get sub 2 today
that
with
would
like
be
a dominant start?
That would be it. What's that?
I said, could he get sub 2 today with a dominant start? I thought he was low 2s, or is that just since his first start?
No, he's at 2.12.
Yeah.
So he
could
potentially could, absolutely. Let's see what his ERA would be with 7 scoreless.
Like 194.
Something like that. Yeah, because he doesn't have as many
it would
innings as other starters.
190.
Yeah, there you
It
go.
would drop to 190 with 7 scoreless.
Yeah, so I think I think, and look, this is where we were having this discussion the other day about compensation being tied to these selections, and a selection is a selection. Whether you were the last guy, whether you were the first guy, right? You were on the All-Star team, so you were an All-Star. You had an All-Star season. You're unaffected by how many votes you got that made you an All-Star. So for Paul Skenes and every other starting pitcher, Jared, it's a big deal. It's a feather in your cap, just like an opening day start is. Right?
I got to do math. All right, so let me ask you this as a former starting pitcher, Dallas. How many days out from the All-Star game would make you ineligible to start the game? Like you just start, obviously if you started the day before, you're out, but 2 days before?
That all depends on how guys operate in between.
Yeah.
So like
it's a personal thing.
Yes, it's absolutely a personal thing, and it's a combination of personal and organizational desire.
Right. So if you start on Sunday, does that mean that you can't throw an inning?
Well, because the game's on Tuesday, right?
Tuesday.
So what you could think is like for me, I would be able to go an inning because that was my bullpen day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm good to go. Like you need an inning for sure because I got a bullpen today.
But not
and then
everyone
once
has
you start
their
to get
bullpen
even
day
further
2 days out.
Yeah, once you start to get even further into your into your work week, you realize you're going to have a couple of days off on the back end as well, right? So it's not just 5 days and then you're going to take your turn again. You're going to have a few extra days because of the 2 after the game that are off days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just the wrong dude to ask that because if I was ever good enough to make an All-Star team and they needed me to pitch, I'm fucking pitching.
Right. Yeah.
Like I've just always like that's what I loved about hearing stories from the old days and the old All-Star games is how much it meant, the amount of pride. I mean, old baseball fans could recite the all-star rosters similarly to the way they could their own favorite team's rosters, because there wasn't the turnover. You could bank on these guys being there every summer, and you wanted to kick the shit out of the AL. The NL wanted to do what we are, the better, more purer version of this game. There's pride in it there, and that's just not existent today.
I think it's very hard. It's even hard for somebody my age, really, but I think it's hard for specifically younger listeners or fans to even grasp the idea that the AL and NL used to view the situation that way, and that they were, in some ways, in their origin, separate entities that were brought together originally. That's obviously a very long time ago, but like that these, reminder, they didn't used to play each other during the regular season, right? Like the only opportunity for these players to square off against each other was the All-Star game, or if you made it to the fucking World Series, right? So like there really was something behind what I don't like. Sometimes I think it's used as like a criticism or a cudgel against the modern player, that like they don't care about the All-Star game in the same way. And it's like, well, that's because they're soft, or that's because they make too much money, or whatever. And it's really more, in my opinion, about the changes that the leagues have made and the structural formats of baseball being just completely different than it used to be 60 years ago. So, I think that's inevitably taken a lot of the juice out of the All-Star game. And I think that's why it's important that the Home Run Derby has elevated itself and been elevated to the marquee event of the weekend, and more often than not, I think delivers.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to the conversation we had about these, the players and baseball clubs as they originated, and the idea that, I'm a part of this club. I'll always be a part of this club, and this is who I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of this club. I could never see myself trading clubs and then being a part of this club the next 10 years. Like, what? No, that's a foreign thought. And that's why it was what it was. I mean, remember, my mentor was a guy who got plowed into by a unbalanced Pete Rose trying to come home and score in a fucking all-star game, right? Ray Fosse's career was never the same because of a collision at home plate during an all-star game. Could you imagine the Buster Posey rule coming out and being enforced because of that happening in an all-star game?
I guess it all depends on the player that gets hurt. Did Ronaldo Lopez make the All-Star team?
Has it been announced? I don't think so.
That's crazy. Dude has a
no, he is. He is. Okay. I think there was some Cy Young poll going around on social from MLB or Network or something that didn't have him in the top 5. I know that got some negative attention, but he is going to the All-Star game. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Because I mean,
he's super weird if he wasn't.
Right. He's got a case for starting the All-Star game, certainly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's made 6 more starts than Skenes, and he has a 171. And I know the strikeout numbers aren't the same, but a 933 strikeouts per 9 is nothing to sneeze at.
I tell you who has a really good shot of starting that All-Star game.
Who?
Chris Sale.
I believe it's been said he's coming out, and that's not on the table for him.
Oh no!
I thought I saw that yesterday. Let me make sure I'm not.
Chris Sale, 2.74 ERA, 11.66 strikeouts per 9, an 0.94 WHIP. Better than Skenes, better than Lopez. Well, Ranger Suarez.
So he won't be available to start if he sticks to the plan, which was be to start on Sunday against the Padres. So that's a good example of what Dallas was talking about earlier, where it's different for every person. So unless they change that, it doesn't sound like he's going to be in the mix. Although he considers it a great honor, he wanted me to tell everybody.
Oh, wow. Thank you for passing that message.
You're welcome.
Big of you.
Yeah. I mean, I legitimately, like, this is where we're at with the All-Star game. And there's going to be a small amount of players who feel differently about this, but I'm going to tell you right now that the large, overwhelming majority feel this way about it, which is, I love the acknowledgement. It's really cool. I want the acknowledgement. I want to know that I'm an all-star caliber player. But if that means that I got to get on an airplane and I got to go to this other city and I'm not going to get the downtime, I'm not going to get the family time, and I've got to do all of this other stuff, well, damn, man. Can you send me the watch? Like, is there any way that we can just, like via mail, we can take care of this? Because everybody who makes the All-Star game for the very first time loves it, thoroughly enjoys it, loves the grab bag, loves every bit of it. And then they realize at the end of it, they're like, fuck, man, that's a lot. Like when I showed up, I brought my family there, couldn't do much with them because I had to go and do this. I had this lunch. I had this meeting. I had this. I had to be at the field super early. And then I spent an hour and a half signing all of this memorabilia. And so you realize I'm not going to call it a grind because it is an incredible honor. An incredible honor. But there is a lot that goes into it. And I think when you see perennial all-star talent treat the all-star game the way they do, which is, hey, thank you. Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hell no, I ain't going.
Yeah. I'd be one of those guys for sure. I would, I would say after the third one, I think I'd probably do 3 before I started faking injuries for sure.
Well, you could and the other thing is, like if you know that you got guys that are making the team, guys from the other league, guys that you're friends with, like, oh yeah, it's going to be in Texas. You know what? We're from the area. My family's going to be around. Let's get together. Yeah, we're going to go this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider that at all. I would just be like, I'm fucking tired, man. Like, I just want to go home for a few days, chill on the couch, have some home cooked meal, sleep in my own bed, shit like that.
Yeah. That's what a lot of guys are after. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't blame them. I'm not one of those fans. It's like, do you understand that people died for this honor? People died for this, man. You don't respect it. The All-Star game. You kidding me? That's not how I feel.
No.
No, I mean, every time if I was ever asked, I would go.
Yeah. I feel like you would definitely be a guy that would go.
Hell yeah, man. I respect my country.
Yeah. Respect this. I played for 3 different teams, including my original team, for a second time at the end of my career. And I played in 4 different decades.
Ricky Henderson.
I am a 6-time All-Star, speaking of All-Star games.
Oh, 6-time All-Star. 4 different. Julio Franco.
I won Rookie of the Year in the 1950s.
Lou Brock.
I hold the record for most seasons played at first base with 22. Oh, shit. Bob Gibson once called me the scariest hitter in baseball.
7.
Walt Dropo.
I won an MVP in the 1960s.
3. Willie McCovey. 2. Wait, I got it?
That's what that sound means.
Oh, fuck yeah. Dude, that was with how much time left?
At the very end.
3 seconds.
Buddy, we did it. We did it, buddy. We got it. Willie McCovey. Even though you were clawing on me and muting my mic during the segment. That was what do you have to say? Yeah, I know it's a big moment. It's too much. It's too much.
It's too much.
Oh my.
The last hint was I hit the same number of home runs as Ted Williams.
Oh.
521.
I think I mean the most seasons at first base was, I guess, the lifesaver for me. I was flailing a little bit. That was a little hard. Not unfair hard, just, circumstantially hard.
Yeah. It's only out of respect. I didn't say like, oh, he won Rookie of the Year in 1959 specifically.
Yeah.
Or a specific year that a player won an MVP. I'm just giving you decades now.
Love it.
Can't you have you getting it in the first guess every time?
No. As long as I get it, that's what ultimately matters. Yeah, buddy, I'm still going. Okay. A few more minutes. All right.
This player.
We're just coming off a big moment for us. Okay.
In the waiting room of a hospital.
Jayhay, you a nicotine pouch guy?
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. As someone
Big time.
for me that dipped for many years, many years. It's really just the routine, the ritual, that nicotine fix, as we like to call it, that nicotine buzz. Let me tell you about Lucy. Because it is 100% pure nicotine and always tobacco free. That's the kicker.
That's
Tobacco's
huge.
the bad stuff. That's the bad stuff. As far as the good stuff goes, with Lucy, you can choose your strength anywhere between 2 milligrams to 12 milligrams. I'd say 2 milligrams is suitable for someone who uses nicotine infrequently. If you're a rookie, I don't know why you'd be a rookie in the game, but 4 to 8 milligrams more likely to satisfy if you have an everyday nicotine routine. And then 12 milligram pouches. This is for you if you've ever been underwhelmed by the effects of other nicotine. So that's probably me. I'm probably a 12 milligram guy. And Lucy was very nice to send over some product, which I was very, very happy with, by the way. They've got a great array of flavors: mint, apple ice, espresso, mango, and more. I'm a mango guy.
Who isn't a mango guy?
Yeah, you gotta be.
I don't even want to. If you're not a mango guy, I don't want to know you.
Right?
I can't not think of the Chris Kattan character when I hear mango.
Mango. The mango pouches. The flavor's great. Save yourself from the weekly gas station stop and sign up for a monthly subscription. And when you do, you get 15% off when you do the monthly subscription. There's no commitment, and you can also cancel at any time. So the nicotine pouches, it's a capsule that contains a little liquid flavor that saturates the pouch before it's even in use. Break it with your teeth, get it situated, and boom, instant nicotine release when you need it. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Is as someone who does dip, you're not always in a place where you can do that. Like tomorrow, I'll be on a plane to Dallas, and I probably won't be dipping on the plane, but I'll be bringing a nice little tin of Lucy with me.
Oh, you're going to be dipping? You'd be dipping out to Texas, homie.
Well, yeah, trust me. I mean, I'll be doing that in Texas as well. But for that plane ride, need that nicotine fix. Level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/BID and use, well, Jake, is it lucy.co/ it is BID. Yes. And use the promo code BID to get 20% off your first order. That's lucy.co/BID and use the promo code BID to get 20% off your first order. Lucy also offers free shipping and has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. Once again, that is lucy.co, LUCY, and use the promo code BID to get 20% off and always free shipping.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
I'm a ritual guy myself, so I really feel what you're speaking to there.
Man. Well, the The Astros have won 8 straight at home. Framber, 10 punchies last night. You know what? Sometimes when we put out promo videos for this show, just different topics that we talk about, you never really know what's going to catch fire on the internet. When we put out our promo video saying that the Astros were back, Astros fans really like that. They felt seen. They felt validated. They were like, oh, the BID guys said that the Astros are back. Well, then we fucking must be.
Then fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's hard to argue at this juncture.
They're creeping. They've had the Mariners in their crosshairs. It's getting
They are
closer
more than
and
creeping.
closer and
It's
closer.
loud. It's loud noises, Dallas. This is no longer creeping. They're not creeping around the house. They are stomping. They are stomping on the second floor, knowing that someone is on the first floor. They don't give a fuck. They're 2 games back. I mean, they're a plus 46 run differential compared to the Mariners, who are plus 11. Like, the Mariners at this point are lucky to have a winning record, pretty much.
Well, we know that the Mariners' run differential is going to reflect what they do on the mound more so than what they do at the
No
plate.
doubt. No doubt. No doubt. But yeah, I'm feeling better and better every day about my Houston Astros pick. I think my division picks circulated on the internet in like early May, and everyone's like, "Were you on fucking crack when you picked the Astros?" I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not guaranteeing victory. I'm just saying.
Were
that
you? You didn't deny that you were. Were you?
No,
were you
I
doing
did
crack?
not deny that.
Oh, okay, okay.
No.
It's kind of glossed right by that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't deny that. I would not confirm, nor would I deny.
Yeah. That's
those
smart.
claims. Mm-hmm. But I will confirm that I did pick the Houston Astros to win the division this year, and I like my chances. You know, we're 90 games into the season.
Yep.
We've got plenty of season left for them Houston Astros.
Well, we've only
to
got
get that fucking dickhead Tex back on this podcast to talk about the Houston Astros.
how many games are left? 68?
Someone
70?
like that, yeah. Mm-hmm. Plenty of time on the clock, Dallas.
Well, like Joe Espada said, not worried. Not worried about it. I've got a
Cocky.
room full of veterans in there that know how to handle this, that know what's going on.
Yeah. You know who doesn't know what's going on, though? The Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs, and I saw this on Reddit this morning. The Chicago Cubs have 4 starters with an ERA of 3.10 or lower, and they're still in last place. If I were a Cubs fan, I'd be like, how are we doing this? I didn't realize how bad of a season Dansby Swanson was having.
Oh, it's
bad.
nightmarish.
Yeah, like I saw the meme, like you can kill the man, but you can't kill his ideas. And it was Jason Hayward and Dansby Swanson just giving a ton of money to a dude that came in for the Cubs and just, I mean, in fairness, good last year.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
good last year, but this year, not so much. Not having a good year, Dansby.
I mean, was it good last year?
Yeah.
Yes.
What was his wins above replacement? Was he a 5-win player?
He was like a 4 or 5 win player. He was outstanding defensively, regardless of what metric or, set of eyes you're using to judge him. I know the offensive numbers don't jump off the page, but his overall season was excellent and certainly in line with what his compensation was. And this year has been a disaster because he's not just worse offense. I mean, he's like borderline unplayably bad offensively right now. And his defense has not, and the up the middle defense of him and Horner, which was like a linchpin of the Cubs' elite defense last season, has not maintained this season. And so that's a tough combo when you're a glove first guy with some pop whose pop has disappeared and your glove takes a step back.
That's why I find it hard to say that last year was an exceptional year for him because he posted his second lowest career OPS. And sure, he plays great defense.
I guess in a full season. Yeah. Sorry.
No, I'm right.
Yeah, you are.
Yep. And the defense, spectacular, but like in line with the compensation. Like
absolutely.
No, offensively, that's the production you're looking for?
I think if the Cubs were I think the overall package that they received last year in Dansby Swanson's 2023 season was, I would say, exceeded overall expectations. If too much of that came via the glove as opposed to the bat, then that's, I think, a separate discussion that maybe is probably true. But there's no doubt that this being the offensive output in year 2 of, what was it, a 6 or 7 year contract? 7 year contract, 7. I think, is obviously a disaster. And the initial question was, how have the Cubs been, how are they in last place with 4 starters having an ERA under whatever was 3.15? And the answer is that they have a horrific bullpen, or a bullpen that has been horrific at really, really critical points throughout the season, and an offense that is just totally not acceptable for a major market would-be contender. Like, I would say, outside of Ian Happ's recent run and Michael Busch's overall season, which I think that transaction looks like a win for the Cubs, every single other player has been a disappointment offensively. Nico Horner, Cody Bellinger, Suzuki, Morel, Swanson. I know Pete Crow Armstrong is a glove-first guy. You basically can't hit the way that he has hit so far and maintain a starting spot in the major leagues, almost regardless of how good your defense is. Like, it's almost shocking how bad their offense is.
It is bad. But yeah, it is. It's 304 out of that foursome. It's Javier Assad, 304. Jameson Taillon, 299. Shota Imanaga, 297. That was after shutting down the O's last night. And then Justin Steele, 295.
But dude, pitcher wins, whatever. Justin Steele has 1 win with a 2.95 ERA in 13 starts. He went a span of like, I think it was, I looked at it last time, 16 starts. He was the first guy since like the 40s to have an ERA that low and be winless through 12 starts. It was crazy.
He has 7 quality starts, 1 win.
Yeah. I mean, it's, and again, that's basically nothing to do with his quality of pitching and everything to do with, you know, how useless the Cubs offense has been. And it's not just generally underperforming. Like, if I've looked at it many times this season, runners in scoring position, runners on base, they are at or near the bottom of the league in both of those things. And there's just not, and this is while maintain, like, it's not like they've got a high bat to ball ratio and these balls are just getting sucked up by the infielders. Like, this is a team that fundamentally needs to put the ball in play more too. Yeah, and it's just like, for extended stretches, it's a brutal offense to watch, despite the starting pitching more than carrying its end of the bargain.
How much blame do you put on Craig Counsell for this? Guy just got the bag to be the highest paid manager of all time, comes in, the Cubs immediately shit their pants. Like, this is a wildly underperforming team. Like, they're not this bad.
No, I think that framing them as a last place team, while objectively true and ultimately fair, it's a little misleading. They are tied with the Reds and they're a half game behind the Pirates. So like, but separately, they are 10 games behind the Milwaukee Brewers, which is just total, and 4.5 behind the Cardinals, who played like dog shit for the first month and a half of the season. So like, it is unacceptable no matter how you slice it. They've been outscored on the season, even while winning the last 3 games. I think a decent chunk has to lay at the foot of Jed Hoyer in the front office. Like, I would love to blame Craig Counsell, but ultimately, like, he has not lived up to that deal. Like, if you're marketed as a guy who gets the most out of a bullpen and can mix and match like platoon advantages and take advantage of your bench, like, those things really haven't materialized in Chicago. And some of that is roster building, but like, the bullpen has been really, really disappointing. And so I think Craig Counsell has to own some of that. Jed Hoyer has to own the most of it, though, because this is like, this rebuild should be over. This team should be basically fully baked as at least a second tier contender. And it looks as far away from that vision as we were this time last season. And that is a huge problem, I think.
We have a lot of, like we've said, a lot of these guys are underperforming. I mean,
but
Cody
like, where do
Bellinger,
you go with these guys?
What's that?
I think
Are you happy with Cody?
No.
I don't think you can be.
But that's the point that I was going to make is it's not just that a lot of these guys are underperforming, Dallas. It's a lot of these guys are underperforming and getting paid a lot of money.
Sure.
It's the guys that you're paying the most money to that are disappointing you the most.
Well, to the tune of Dansby, to the tune of Belly. And that's why like
sure.
the Bellinger thing for me is, but didn't the acquisition of Cody Bellinger at the rate that they acquired Cody Bellinger at, isn't that sort of telling you that they were looking, they understood that they were going to have to hit on some deals?
Listen, Cody Bellinger's OPS is down damn near 140 points from last year, and he's just not the same player that he was last year, even if I think we were all on the same page, and the Cubs were, and the free agency market was, that he was going to regress off of an 881 and 135 OPS plus. But like that he's fallen so much, I think is a disappointment. And to the point about like these guys being paid and underperforming, like if you look at who the offense is, right? The names, the guys who are disappointing are mostly guys who are in what should be the primes of their careers. Like Cody Bellinger's not getting any better. Suzuki, given what we saw in the final 2 months of last season and the first 3 weeks of this season before he hit the injured list, looked like he was in the prime of his career and maybe a middle of the order bat. He's been nothing like that since returning, but this is what should be one of his prime seasons. Same for Ian Happ, same for Christopher Morel, and as we covered, same for Dansby Swanson. Like if you want to give Pete Crow Armstrong and Michael Busch, who has been good, so there's no reason to give him any margin for error, but if you wanted to say those guys are growing into the offensive jobs, that's fine. Most of these guys should be grown, and that's what's really disappointing, I think, because everybody else in the division, or not everybody, but the Brewers, are the Brewers going to be getting worse moving forward? Well, they may not have this good of a record through 90 games next season, but the roster is very likely to be as strong or stronger. The Pirates are getting better. The Reds are presumably not getting worse in the interim. It's just a tough scene. Like, where are you if you're the Cubs?
Well, and the thing about the Bellinger deal is, what did his numbers look like? What was his OPS, frankly, in the year before he signed with the Cubs? Not even 700.
654.
Yeah,
654.
So think about the gap between who he was the year prior to last year and then who he...
The year before was 542.
I get it. Jared, trust me, this is why I'm going this direction, is because if you see that consistently year after year, and then you have this aberration of a year where his OPS shot up to 881.
I'll give you this, Dallas. The last 3 years
to the 742.
The last 3 years leading up to 2023. So we're talking 2020 through 2022. Cody Bellinger in 295 games, over 1,100 plate appearances, 203 batting average, 272 on base, 376 slug. It's a 648 OPS.
So my point is, when we go from a 654 OPS in 22 to the 881 OPS last year, and then he gets paid, how do we look at what he's seeing this year and are disappointed? Because I would think if we're looking over the last 3, 4, 5 year track record, this is exactly who we expected Cody Bellinger to be. He had one great year early on, MVP, and then from there, went into the witness protection program. Resurfaced when it was safe, had a great year, got a little bread, and has now regressed. And I would say that based on what the initial track record looked like before that 881 season last year, you could expect this, and this right now, what you're getting, would still be better than all 3 of those years leading up to a season like this.
That's fine. I respectfully disagree that what he's contributing right now is what we or anyone expected him to deliver in year 1 of this contract. I just don't accept that.
I expected this. I did not expect anywhere near what was happening last year. I didn't have Cody Bellinger hitting 20 homers.
That's fine. This season is, if you take every year of his career before 2023 and average it together, so the good and the very, very bad, his OPS was 819 and his OPS plus was 118. This is markedly below that. And if people expected him to deliver this season, he would have gotten even less money than he got in the offseason.
What is that? That's 60, 70 points less worth of OPS on average. I'm talking that, and that's it, really, because we're talking about a year 200, 654, 754, 854. That's 200 points, and he's hitting 880, he hit 881 OPS.
I had to spend all last year eating crow because Cody Bellinger was fucking back. Remember that? Do we not remember the 2023 podcast season where Cody Bellinger was so fucking back and I had to apologize on Twitter because I called the dude washed? Well, here we are. Now you're telling me that this was the case all along. So I don't know who I'm looking for an apology from. Maybe you, maybe not. Not me. You? Okay, well, it doesn't sound like I'm getting one from you anyway. So we can move on.
Because I was not the dude who I was also saying, what is going on? Cody Bellinger, $100 million? What? Who is thinking this? Who is saying this out loud?
So we're having fun with it now. I want to back up just to make one other point about the Cubs situation too, is that we're talking about Cody Bellinger and we're talking about Suzuki and we're talking about Swanson being like particularly Bellinger and Swanson being their big ticket, high priced guys. Let me be clear about something. Those should not be the first and highest second paid offensive players on a team that has playoff or World Series aspirations that resides in the city of Chicago and plays at Wrigley Field. Cody Bellinger, the intention for Cody Bellinger was and never should have been to be the best or second best offensive player on a team that is driving to the World Series. Dansby Swanson should not be the second highest paid player or first highest paid offensive player. I'd have to look. He's definitely got the largest overall contract on the team. For a team that has that sort of aspirations, this team is still desperately missing a true franchise cornerstone type of offensive player, and that person doesn't exist currently on the roster. And maybe there's a trade or a free agency signing coming that I'm not prepared to talk about at the moment, but it doesn't seem like that's coming down the pipeline either in the near future. So like every conversation that I have about the Cubs leads you to a place where it's like, are they just in no man's land right now? Because they're not an inexpensive club. They're not an overwhelmingly young club. They have a decent prospect situation, but not an elite prospect situation. And like, they're willing to spend, but not willing to be the top bidder for anybody who reaches free agency. So where is this all going? I don't know.
And Jay, that's why I think like you kind of, in my opinion, to help prove my point a little with the Cody Bellinger thing, because he is that guy in terms of financial compensation and in terms of production right now, he's probably your second best player. And if that's the case, I just don't know how we can be disappointed in what Cody Bellinger is bringing to this particular table in Chicago. That was my point, is I agree with you that he can't be the centerpiece. We're not arguing that. I'm just saying if he's performing the way he is right now, and it's near the top of the productivity chart for this club, it's tough for me to say that he is disappointing. And then that's why I backed up with the seasons leading up to the acquisition. Why Cody Bellinger right now, I mean, he can't be the dude that you put the blame on. Not you personally, just
no, I understand.
In general, yes.
I just want to put specifics on what I said. The Cubs' two highest paid players in terms of average annual value ranked 25th and 31st in Major League Baseball in terms of active contracts, average annual value. Dansby Swanson's overall value contract is 26th in Major League Baseball. That is part of the problem, that the Cubs aren't acting like a big league team or a big market team like they can and should be, and that the fan base wants to. That the Cubs have one top 25 contract in terms of total dollars remaining is like kind of fucking insane and like a scam. Like that. What are we doing? It's the Cubs, man. It's like it's a separate conversation from what's going on with the Red Sox, but like they're interrelated in a way because it's like, why are these teams behaving in a way that they don't need to behave? And we don't need to, we know why. That's a rhetorical question, but like there's no excuse. Like even the Red Sox have Rafael Devers' contract on the books. That's almost 2 times or 175% of the largest contract that exists for the Cubs. So it's kind of a disgrace. And I think this season is playing out in like worst case scenario fashion.
Yeah. Well, I think the counter to that is I think when we talk about the Cubs and spending money, the first example that's going to come up is that 16 core and how they let them all go pretty much. How many of those in hindsight have become regrettable decisions?
But I think the yes, buddy. Okay. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. I have something to say about that. Sorry, I'm back.
Okay.
So I think the front office has absolutely been proven correct to walk away from that core of players, despite it being immensely unpopular. And I mean, not that I matter, but I specifically criticized them for those decisions, Bryant and Rizzo in particular. But that they let those guys walk and didn't keep what proved to be onerous contracts on the books is actually a reason they should be investing in the team right now, because this is the end. This is what should have been the end of the cycle that started when they said no to those guys, right? And traded or let those guys move on, right? And so that we're in that's a 2016 World Series we're talking about. I know it doesn't feel that way. It doesn't to me. That's 8 years ago. Like, we should be talking about the next great Cubs team rising right now, or having already risen for that matter. And we're just not anywhere there. And that they've taken those wins contractually. And instead of saying, well, that gives us more wiggle room to be aggressive with this next core of players, they have instead basically just decided that justifies us kind of staying away from a lot of long-term contracts overall, Dansby Swanson not included.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, it's not a $300 million contract, but we do have to give them some credit for going out and signing Dansby. And I know that the Bellinger contract doesn't have length, but it does have AAV. I think it's $27.5 million. And I think it would have been really dumb to go with the length on Bellinger for all the points we just illustrated. The 2020 to 2022 seasons, he was awful, and he had one good year. And it's like, you don't give him a guy a 12-year deal. Like we keep going back to the MLB trade rumors predictions. Like, Bellinger was supposed to get fucking 12 years, $365 million. Like, that's insane. That's insane. Well, I'm not entertaining that if I'm the Cubs, and no one did ultimately.
And it would be one thing if the Cubs, kind of like relatively frugal or efficient ways, were producing winners, and you just didn't like the way that it was happening, or you were saying like, oh, they should be spending more,
like Tampa.
Right. But they are winning frequently, right? Or like getting to the postseason all the time.
Yeah.
That's not happening in Chicago. So it's like, okay, so it's an efficiently run big market team that doesn't go to the postseason and is currently fifth or tied for fourth in its own division in what should be like the we're realizing our potential year of the rebuild. It's just kind of, I can't imagine how fatiguing it is for day-to-day Cubs fans to deal with.
Imagine being a Cubs fan, waking up this morning and being like, oh man, we fucking shut out the Orioles, shoved, shut out, fucking Belly had a couple knocks. Man, they're going to be praising the Cubs on Baseball is Dead. I can't wait to hear that segment. They just got their entire franchise assassinated by Justin Havens. Wow.
Well, they've been asking for some negative Cubs stuff. It just happened after a win.
Yeah. Yeah, after Imanaga outduels Corbin Burns, they get torn to shreds for it.
Third Cubs pitcher ever to have a start of 6 or more scoreless against the Baltimore Orioles franchise.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
It's quite a list.
Sure is. But that foursome of Assad, Taillon, Imanaga, and Steele have a combined 2.99 ERA, a 3.72 FIP, so still pretty good, a 1.14 WHIP, and an 8.46 strikeouts per nine.
Should be good enough.
They're averaging 5 2/3 innings per start.
In a National League that has rolled out the red carpet for mediocrity to be in the playoff picture, the Cubs still find themselves on the outside looking in. Crazy.
Yeah.
With that rotation.
Yeah. Dallas's internet looks like it exploded, so we can't jump into Family Feud, but what we can do is talk about the fact that the Dodgers have optioned Bobby Miller to AAA after 7 starts in an 8.07 ERA, 35 hits in 29 innings, 26 runs, all of them earned, 7 bombs, 18 walks to 27 strikeouts. The FIP 631. So it's about a run and 3/4 difference from the ERA. And the whip, Jesus Christ, it's almost 2. A 182.
I mean, he was one of the breakout darlings, whether you're talking real baseball or fantasy baseball entering the season. And in some ways, like, you watch him pitch and you're like, well, this shit's still nasty. I know Eno with The Athletic was tweeting yesterday. He's like, I'm still like kind of trying to figure out why Bobby Miller sucks. And it was like, and his first start really didn't put you on this scent at all, as we talked about in the last podcast, where it was 6 innings scoreless with 11 strikeouts and 1 walk. And he's just been a complete disaster since. Like, there's a lot of things you could point to, but the guy had 16 strikeouts over his last 6 starts after that first one. Like, that's that's not going to work. And like, Bobby Miller specifically is interesting, but it just adds to the Dodgers. Like, I'm sure some fan of some team is going to come on after he or she listens to this podcast and be like, well, don't you remember this year with this team? And I believe all of that. I just don't recall a star-studded rotation that was this devastated by injury. And some of them
for
were
years.
Yeah, and some of them were like, we knew about Tony Gonsolin, we knew about Dustin May. Like, that's fine. We knew what Kershaw's deal was going into the season. Walker Buehler, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Emmett Sheehan, Tyler Glasnow. We'll see what the extent of that one is. Bobby Miller's now been demoted. Like, Gavin Stone pitched yesterday, and like, I'm not trying to make too much out of 2 starts, but he's allowed 16 hits in his last 7 2/3. Like, and he was like the rock of the rotation this season. James Paxton has a 5.97 ERA since the beginning of June. They have 2 other people named Landon Knack and Justin Robleski. Maybe I'm pronouncing that last one right. I don't even know. He's made 1 start. It's like this is the juggernaut team that people were saying were cheating baseball by sucking the drama out of the season and walking to the World Series. And like, we all know baseball doesn't work that way. But I don't know that I anticipated it working in quite this ridiculous and extreme fashion on the preseason favorite.
Yeah, I'm looking at the numbers now. They have 8 guys who have made at least 2 starts this season. And I don't think they drew it up like this, Jayhay. I don't think they drew it up like this. This is a team that has infinite resources. And I mean, that Knack ain't bad, huh?
No.
7 starts at 286.
He's got a knack for this.
Oh,
hey. I mean, it might be one of the greatest testaments to the Dodgers' organizational strength that we just listed all of that nonsense without getting into the fact that Mookie Betts, one of the 5 best players in baseball, has missed a non-trivial amount of time, and they are 17 games over 500 with a 591 winning percentage, which is 4th, 5th in Major League Baseball. Like, yes, 5th in Major League Baseball is relatively disappointing for the Dodgers, but that they're still in that level of position
with a plus 94 run differential.
Yeah.
And like, they're in a division that's not that bad. Like, it's, the Padres have been good. They haven't been great. They've been
fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Fine. They're not bad.
Tough stretch recently, but yeah, overall fine.
Yeah. The D-backs just went to the World Series last year. They're playing better baseball of late. They with a win tonight, they'll be back to 500. And like, the Giants are kind of right there too. They're 3 games under 500. Like, it's not the best division in the world, but when we go down the line and talk about all the injuries that the Dodgers have sustained, that kills most teams.
Yeah.
Losing your ace, your MVP, like they've lost, essentially in the last year, they've lost an entire rotation. and still just chugged right along. Like I said, it sinks most other teams, but the Dodgers just find a way to keep winning baseball games because they're the Dodgers.
For sure. And like, I still have quite a lot of faith in this team to go deep into the playoffs once that time comes. But, you know, at some point you're going to need to figure out who's actually starting the games for you and what sort of run up to the postseason that they have to get back to the sharpness level that they need to win a World Series.
Yeah. Dallas just said that his internet in the hotel is down again. So what do we want to do? Do we want to wait or do we want to I guess we can't punt Family Feud until Monday because we'll all be together.
Well, and the other news while we're just kind of vamping here for a second, Jake, I feel like this can be shared, right?
What?
I'm not sure if I know where you're going.
Just that we're feeling good about a live Family Feud that was tossed out last time. There's been some real production progress on that side. And it sounds like BID against Section 10 in some form is gonna happen.
What team am I on?
Well, this is your ship, buddy. So ultimately, you can make that decision. I think we need to figure out. I guess we know who the participants are. So if we could do, as I said last time, if Connor is going to play, he could slot into the BID side. Jeremy's going to be around too, right? Like in theory, Jeremy could play for Section 10, and you could stay on BID. So some options. Maybe since Connor's getting to participate in the Derby, maybe it would be fun if Jeremy participated in the live Family Feud. But
yeah. Is Jeremy lurking in the shadows on this show too, Jake?
I thought he was.
Not today, but usually he is, yeah.
Huh. It's very funny. Like, it's like a recent revelation that he just like lurks in the shadows on the show, and I just never.
I didn't know for a long time either.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fine. I'm not like bothered by it. It's great. The more the merrier.
Yeah. Happy to have.
I'm sure it makes cutting clips a lot easier when you've listened to the podcast.
Yeah. So what do we want to do here? Are we waiting for Dallas or
maybe some Jayhay Nuggs?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
I can buy us
some Nugs. Yeah,
can buy us a few more minutes here. We can talk about a few more. I'm intrigued by some pitching matchups coming up by the time we're done potting and before we get to Arlington too. Anyway, some Nugs. This is not mine. A rare someone else's Nug that I'm going to read on the pod. This is from Daniel Kramer / Alex Mayer.
Okay.
Cal Raleigh is the fourth catcher to have 15 or more homers and 5 or more stolen bases before the All-Star break, joining Carlton Fisk, Johnny Bench, and Ivan Rodriguez. So that Raleigh has joined that list is pretty funny. Let's see. Shota Imanaga, I teased it earlier. He is the third Cubs pitcher to have a start of 6 or more scoreless against the Orioles, joining Jose Quintana in 2017 and Sean Estes in 2003. Okay, continuing on. This is a pod to remember. Bryce Miller is the first Mariners pitcher since Aaron Seeley in 2001, 23 years ago, to have a start of 6 or more scoreless with 0 walks and no more than 1 strikeout. Sam Hilliard and Brenton Doyle are the first instances of Rockies players having multi-home run games in consecutive days on the road since Mark Reynolds and Charlie Blackmon did so across June 20th to 21st, 2016. And yep, those are the Nugs. Oh, those are my Nugs.
That's it. This is going to be a very interesting Family Feud. Our host is dealing with it over there.
Getting
right
dominated right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Anyways, Dallas, what are your expectations for the game tonight?
My expectations are that the A's will battle. Medina will keep things close, hopefully through
not.
5 or 6.
It's supposed to rain tonight or what?
It's supposed to rain. I got an interview with Dave lined up, so we're looking to get that in.
Dave O'Brien?
He's also
Dave
Mellor.
Meller. Dave Meller.
Yeah.
Dave Meller.
Yep. I thought his last name was Miller. He's just using an accent. Meller.
Yeah.
No, it's actually Meller.
Dave Meller. Great guy.
So I'm chopping it up with Dave today, this afternoon.
He's awesome. He's gonna roll out the red carpet for you. He do be doing shit like that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Is it that time?
Yeah, it's that time.
Oh wow.
Welcome back to Baseball is Dead, Family Feud, Fast Money Edition. I'm your man, Justin Havens. As we teased when Dallas had stepped away, looking good for a live Family Feud from the house in Texas. So get your minds ready for that. Everybody you see on camera right now will be participating, and many you don't see on camera right now. If you listen to Section 10, though, they'll be familiar faces. This is just an old-fashioned Baseball is Dead Family Feud, and it's with Dallas and Jared. We haven't had a Dallas and Jared Family Feud in a little bit.
Yeah.
Joey obviously subbed in. Do you guys know which of you is going first?
What do you think, Dallas?
Did you go first last time?
I don't know. I haven't played.
No,
in like
Joey
3
went
weeks.
first last. Oh, the last time you guys went together. Yeah. Whatever you want to do.
Didn't I go first?
Yeah.
All right. What do you want to do?
All right.
You want to go
I'll
first?
go first.
All right.
I'll go first.
I will say, you guys have a pathway to victory here, so don't psych yourselves out. Okay.
Okay.
Jake, you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Jared, I'm going to tell you off, even though I say so in the question, for the home run derby question that is part of this, it was written and the answers were submitted prior to the final two guys being. So those two guys, Teoscar and Dolis, are not involved in the answer. Okay. I just want you to know that. Okay, here we go. Question 1. Who should start the All-Star game for the National League?
Paul Skenes.
How many games will separate first and second place in the AL East by the end of the regular season?
2.
Of the 6 participants we know, Henderson, Alonso, Bohm, Witt Jr., Ozuna, Ramirez, who has the best chance to win the 2024 Home Run Derby?
Gunner.
Who is the best right-handed hitter of the last 30 seasons, 95 to 2024?
Albert Pujols.
Who is currently, quote, the team to beat in terms of World Series equity in Major League Baseball?
The Phillies.
Thank you. Let's get a quick. That's 84. 44. Oh, man. Did we just do that again? Jake, I think we have the, yeah. Nice. Yeah, we're going to make. All right, Dallas. Can you hear us? Almost done, buddy.
Yep.
All right. Are you ready,
Those
Dallas?
Fucking headphones suck. Yeah.
You
yes,
need- you
Jared,
need
how
to-
we do?
He did fine. You just need to show up. Okay, buddy? Just need to show up. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Jake, here we go. Question 1. Who should start on the mound for the All-Star game for the National
Paul
League?
Skenes.
Eh.
Chris Hill.
How many games will separate first and second place in the AL East by the end of the regular season?
3.
Of the 6 participants we know, Henderson, Alonso, Bohm,
Gunnar Henderson. Bobby Witt.
Who is the best right-handed hitter, just hitter of the last 30 seasons, 1995 to 2024?
Manny.
Who is currently, quote, the team to beat in terms of World Series equity in Major League Baseball?
Phillies. Dodgers.
Good job, Dallas. You got it. You got in time. You answered the questions.
I think I fucked up though. What was the home run derby question? I didn't even listen to the fucking total question.
So, it was who was the most likely to win? Who was the best chance to win? All right, let's go through the questions here. Question one.
What was it? It was just to hit the
It was
homers?
who's most likely to win? Who has the best chance to win?
All right.
Question one, who should start on the mound for the All-Star game for the National League? Jared delivered the number one answer. Paul Skenes, 69 points. 69 points.
Nicely done.
Chris Sale, the number two answer. So you guys walked out of there with the maximum amount. That was only 6, but you did get 75 points out of that one answer. How many games will separate first and second place in the AL East by the end of the regular season? You guys answered 3, or Jared answered 2, which was 15. Dallas answered 3, which was 25, the number one answer. So you guys got another 40 points there, which brings you up to 115 through 2 questions. Okay.
Like that. Like our odds so far.
Of the 6 Derby participants, who's the most likely to win? Jared went with Gunner. He was the number 3 answer, 20. Bobby Witt Jr. got only 3. He was the number 5 answer.
Still
Alex,
with my dude.
Yep. So that's another 23 points. So we have a $138 as your total with 2 questions left.
Oh.
Who is the best right-handed hitter, just hitter, of the last 30 seasons? Albert Pujols was the number 1 answer. Jared delivered with 40 points. Manny Ramirez, the number 2 answer at 17. So you guys got another 57 there, which brings you to the final question. Who is currently the team to beat in terms of World Series equity? Jared nailed the number 1 answer with the Phillies, 59. And Dallas, you said, I'm sorry, who?
I said the Rangers, or I said the Phillies, and then I said the Dodgers.
Dodgers, right. That's what I thought. They were the number 2 answer at 19. Jared by himself delivered the victory, if you add it all up, at 203. So the game was already over before Dallas stepped in for the 2nd consecutive week. That's amazing. Congratulations, guys.
Pure domination.
Yeah, Isla's super pumped.
She loves it.
Yes.
Come on. Come on. Stop.
Are you going to get a belt for that?
I mean, maybe. Listen.
If we win the live Family Feud at the house, we should get belts. Yeah.
Well, it's at this point in time, like we're just we're all answering the number 1 answers. I gave every same answer that
you guys
Jared
crushed it this week, no doubt. Yeah. I mean, it's been a nice. I feel like you guys hit a low point like 2 or 3 Family Feuds ago, where you're like, can we even are we mentally strong enough to keep doing this? Are we going to keep blaming Discord, et cetera, et cetera? And now you guys have bounced back really nicely, and I think it's a testament to your growth and maturity as Family Feud players.
It's good teammates. Takes a team. Could have done it without Dallas.
Good job, guys. Do you think we're going to have an edge at the house in the tournament because we've been playing?
Yeah, I think I'm much calmer responding and getting through the answers now than I was when we first started. When I first started, I was like, don't say something stupid. Don't say something stupid. But I know how to focus now and just get the right answer out.
I feel like in the Section 10 universe, there's like a lot of, you got to constantly be on your toes. Like, if I say something stupid, am I going to get suspended? You know what I mean?
Well, Tyler will definitely say something stupid. So Coley is going to be of sound mind. His mind is a steel trap. Steve, I'm not sure how he'll do. He's not dumb, but I don't know how he handles pressure. Tyler can't handle pressure to save his life. Tyler will end up like, you'll ask him the same questions you just asked me, and somehow a fire will break out like in his room.
I saw that. That's crazy.
That was real life.
Yeah. I mean,
Really?
he seemed like he handled it.
yeah. There was
I guess. I mean, the house didn't burn down as
No.
best I could tell from the clip. So, is Dallas locked in or frozen? That's
frozen.
right. That's what's up. Okay.
That's why,
I was like,
yeah.
man, you're not getting into this. Like, we're just kind of riffing here, and he's just.
Yeah.
Oh, there he's back.
Is he?
Yo,
He's back.
Oh, he's
Oh, he's back.
There he
That
is.
was
What
trippy.
happened?
What
Nothing, dude.
happened?
You just froze out. You just froze out for a second.
Dude got abducted by aliens, I think. His internet didn't freeze. He got abducted. Well, that concludes this week of Baseball is Dead. The next time you see us, we will be in Dallas, Tejas for the All-Star
can't
game,
wait.
the Home Run Derby, the Wiffle Ball Home Run Derby, the Section 10 versus Baseball is Dead Family Feud next week. Got a lot of great content. We're going to be vlogging the experience, and we'll be in attendance for the real Home Run Derby. I think we should put up like some sort of bounty. The first person to catch a home run ball in the home run, like we just have to, split up. I guess it's almost like a scavenger hunt with one item. Get a home run ball in the Home Run Derby. See who can do it first.
I'm all
I
in
think-
on that. And now that you've brought it up, I'm bringing my glove.
Dallas, do we ban gloves for this?
I didn't. My fucking internet cut out again. What were
Oh,
you
well,
guys?
if I'm just going to get fucking made fun of the whole time for having a glove, then I'm not going to bring a glove.
No, you're bringing a glove. You already
Well,
said
no,
you're
I'm bringing
a
a glove so that we can have a catch at the house. But
Yeah,
I won't bring it for the home run derby snagathon.
All right, I'll bring a glove so we can have a catch too. Yeah.
You guys could have a
I
catch
found where mine
together.
was
I'll
yesterday.
be more than
I'm
willing
ready to go.
play catch with anybody who wants to play.
I'm not a have a catch guy, Dallas. You know that. Shut up.
You just said that you're going to bring your glove so you can have a catch. You're on the record as saying that.
Jake,
I'm
delete
so-
that.
No, keep that in. Keep that in.
Delete that, Jake.
Keep it in.
Delete it, Jake.
Keep it.
All right. We'll be back on Monday. That's going to be interesting. We're going to have to wake up early, podcast, and then go to the Wiffle Ball Home Run Derby.
The last time we did an
fucking love
in-person
of
podcast,
God,
though,
I
that
just
was
wanna
maybe
get
the
this
funniest I've
goddamn
laughed in a long.
podcast
Oh,
over so I
I'm
can
sorry.
quit fucking reconnecting with this fucking internet.
We got
I wonder whose
screaming
pet's gonna die.
children. We got bad internet. Dad, you gotta get over there. All right. We'll see everybody.
I've
next
gotten
week.
everything I've got. Oh my God.
More nugs, you son of a bitch! We on!